Ryan Garcia's breakthrough, the technical detail that broke Barrios. So Barrios' team, allegedly, thought Ryan Garcia would not be a power puncher at this weight. Allegedly, the team thought that Ryan Garcia was just a left-hand fighter, but Barrios was on the floor within the first 30 seconds in the first round by a right hand. This was a terrible start for Barrios. So I'm going to go through the fight round by round, and then I will give my conclusion and analysis. So let's jump into this. So in round one, the first thing I noticed was that Ryan looks big. He looks big, and Barrios is supposed to be the bigger man, naturally the bigger man. He also takes the center of the ring. So Ryan looks big and strong in round one, which is surprising. And then Ryan throws a right hook, I believe, and then he throws another right hook. And Barrios, he's trying to keep a high guard, but he's on the floor within the first 30 seconds. And he looks in a bit of trouble. Ryan is literally just punching through the guard. And what's the surprise here? There's many surprises. Again, Ryan looks big, he looks strong. But the main surprise is that Ryan is almost exclusively looking for the right hand, and he's throwing it as a loop, not straight. Barrios, unsurprisingly, looks surprised, and at this point, he is surviving. He is not competing. And Ryan looks so sharp. Now, Barrios does try at the end of the round, I believe, a few right-hand counters. The idea is good, but poor execution. Now, this was a totally dominant round by Garcia. And at this point, you're thinking it's a great start and a great strategy to focus on the right hand, because when you're fighting Ryan Garcia, you're focusing on taking away the left hook. Now let's go to round two. So in round two, Barrios again is looking for the counter right hand over the jab, and he has a high guard. Ryan is moving around and he's measuring with his left. And I like it when he does that. He's controlling the pace. Now Ryan tries the right uppercut. So now he's adding some variation to his work. First he was trying the loop. Now he's trying the uppercut. And Barrios is trying to counter. Again, good idea, poor execution. But there are some good body shots from Barrios. But Ryan is looking for the right hand. He's finding the right hand. He eventually tries a left hook off the jab. But let's be very clear. The first two rounds, and Ryan is winning these rounds. He's looking very good, very strong and very dominant. Let's move to round three. Now, Ryan's trainer, his dad, tells him to take the center of the ring. And Ryan comes out aggressively. Again, he's looking stronger and faster. And Ryan is punching with authority. He's putting a lot into these punches, and he's throwing combinations, and Barrios is not responding to those combinations. Barrios does try some counter punches to the body, which again, it's a good idea, but the execution is poor. He's just not getting his timing. This is another dominant round for Ryan Garcia. So in round four, and I remember telling myself at this point, Barrios needs to engage with the jabs and he needs to get the timing with his counters. Ryan, again, is punching hard, and now he's introducing the left hook. Ryan is also starting to counter effectively. So basically, Barrios is struggling with the speed. He's struggling with the timing. And Ryan is starting to take a more dominant position. A massive, massive right hand lands. And in fairness, Barrios tries to counter. Barrios here, from a psychological perspective, he just needs to get momentum and he needs to get confidence. And the one thing I noticed is that Ryan Garcia's jab is very, very fast. And the jab and the feint, that's controlling things at the moment. So going into round five, again, Ryan Garcia is dominating the fight. And again, Ryan Garcia comes out in a dominant position. From a psychological perspective, his confidence is high. And again, Ryan is landing the right hook. From a Barrios perspective, from a technical perspective, he needs to make adjustments because he's not adapting to the hook. He needs to catch and counter the right hook effectively, but he's unable to do that. Ryan is now pushing Barrios back, and Ryan is throwing a lot of punches, When you throw a lot of punches, what does that mean? It means that there's a lot of counter-punching opportunities. But again, Barrios can't execute. I think the punching from Ryan is so hard that it's difficult for Barrios to catch the punches, let alone catch and counter. Now, the only thing here, what's going through my mind, is that Ryan is putting on a big pace. So can he sustain this pace for 12 rounds? But on the other hand, you're thinking, can Barrios take these punches for 12 rounds? But this is another massive dominant round by Garcia. So now we're going into round 6. Understandably, Barrios does not look confident. He's trying to keep his composure, but he's taken massive shots. Ryan is like really reactive and is just very fast. Barrios needs to jab more. He needs to use his counters and he needs effective body work. But we're seeing none of that at the moment. And again, Ryan begins taking that center of the ring. Ryan simply can't. He just can't miss at the moment. Now, the pace is slowing down, but Barrios' foot pressure, his front foot pressure has been disappointing. He hasn't put enough pressure on Ryan. And what's happening here is that Ryan's instinctive defense is very impressive so far. And it's actually incredible that Barrios is not bleeding, because apparently Barrios has a history of bleeding. And considering that he's taking right hands off a hard puncher and he's taking them consistently, it's impressive that he hasn't had any cuts. And what we can say about Barrios is that, yes, he's losing every round from my perspective, but he's definitely showing some character and courage to be able to take these punches. So now we're heading into round 7. Ryan is looking great. The only concern with Ryan Garcia is that to pace himself and not punch himself out. Ryan has been great with the feints, great with the jab, and at the moment I would say that Barrios is just surviving. He's not being competitive at the moment. Now, Barrios is clearly tough. He's a tough guy. He's taking some hard shots, but he is not making the right adjustments. He clearly is not making the right adjustments. Barrios, I think, now needs to get close, and he needs to start utilizing that jab to the body more. He really needs to start making some adjustments. And in fairness, in this round, Barrios does start to use that body jab, but he's not using it enough. And Ryan's backhand, the right hand, not the left, the right hand is so effective. Again, he's looping it and he's finding it, and he's given a few different looks. Sometimes he's looping it and sometimes he's throwing it straight, but it's very effective. His left hand is effective, but not as a hook. It's effective as a jab and a feint. And Ryan is now throwing 4-punch combinations. And not only is he throwing these combinations, what's important is that Barrios is not countering the combinations. And that to me is key, because when Ryan unleashes a 4-6 punch combination, that is a great opportunity to get your get back. And Barrios isn't doing it. Like I'm saying, at the moment he's surviving, he's not competing. Round 8. So clearly this is not the Ryan Garcia that fought Rolly Romero. And as I've been stating for the past couple of rounds, Barrios not only needs to win a round, he now needs a big round. Ryan has consistently won the jab battle, and Ryan is controlling the distance. He's fighting from a position where he wants the fight to take place. Now in round 8, and expectedly, the pace is now starting to slow. And you would think that this is an opportunity for Barrios to start to, input some pace and, make Garcia uncomfortable. But Barrios is simply just ineffective, and he's just looking very limited from a technical point of view. He's not introducing enough punch creativity, or if any punch creativity. He's not countering effectively. He's not closing the distance, and he's not using any front foot pressure. And even though that the pace is slowing, Ryan Garcia is controlling the whole narrative of the fight. So now we're in round 9, and on my card, Ryan just needs to get to the end, and he's won. And I'm thinking to myself, what does Barrios need to do to even become competitive? Well, he needs to get that jab going, the jab to the body, jab to the head. He needs to start landing the counters. At times, he's trying to counter the jab, which is good, but he needs to start landing the counters. He needs to throw to the body and start hurting Ryan to the body. So he needs effective, intelligent body punching, and he needs effective front foot pressure. We haven't really seen any of that. It's more just like following. He's not putting hurtful front foot pressure on Ryan Garcia. And that's because Ryan Garcia has got his respect with his power. Effectively, Barrios needs to turn this into a fight. So what's happening now is that Ryan has just been exclusively trying the backhand. But Ryan is now starting with the left hook. He's like throwing the jab and then sometimes hooking off it, which in fairness, Barrios is catching that. But Ryan just looks so comfortable in there, so comfortable. He's not under any sufficient pressure. And Ryan is throwing powerful combinations, and there's no counters of those combinations from Barrios. And like I said, there are counter opportunities, but Barrios is not taking them. So now we're going into round 10. Barrios has been told clearly by Joe Goosen, you need to knock him out. So the communication from the corner is clear. But again, Ryan comes out throwing powerful punches. Barrios looks hurt and he looks psychologically affected, but he's a champion and, he's absorbing the punch. He's absorbing a lot of punches. Barrios at one point does get on the inside, and in fairness, he starts unloading with some good short body shots. But Ryan is still dominating the fight, and this is just a small segment of the round. Ryan, to me, not only has he been focused, but he's also been defensively responsible. Barrios is trying to keep his composure, but he's still taking big, hard punches. So we're heading into round 11, and Ryan's trainer, his dad, is telling Ryan to stay in the center, box, and be smart. I'm paraphrasing, but that seems to be the instruction. So good instructions. I've been really impressed with Ryan Garcia's father. He's really done a great job here. And like I said, I have Garcia winning practically every round. Ryan, again, is still throwing hard punches. He's never taken the power off the punches. He's been punching hard for 12 rounds. The main thing here is that Ryan just needs to maintain his focus and maintain his defensive responsibilities. He doesn't need to give Barrios any chances. In contrast, Barrios looks like he is throwing in slow motion. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but he just simply doesn't have the foot speed or the hand speed. And Ryan is controlling the distance and he's controlling the pace. So now we get to round 12. Barrios looks well and truly beaten. Again, it's amazing that he hasn't been cut. And effectively here, Barrios needs to roll the dice. To get a knockout, you need to throw a knockout punch, but Ryan's speed and power, they've just simply nullified Barrios completely. And in fairness, Barrios is a champion or was a champion, and he's trying, but he's having no impact with his punches. There are some nice feints by Ryan, and that again is just controlling the distance. He sees everything. And just like that, that's the end of the fight. Ryan Garcia looked impeccable. And it was truly an elite performance. The commentators, or one of the commentators, said Ryan Garcia painted a Mona Lisa. And I agree. You could make an argument that Barrios did not even take a round. And then we have the official decision, and this could only be a Ryan Garcia victory. And that means Ryan Garcia is now the champion. He looked for redemption and he found it. This truly was a great performance. So let's summarize this. Ryan Garcia dominated the jab battle in practically every round, and that was essential. That was so essential to winning this fight. He dominated the distance. He fought from the distance that he wanted to fight from. And surprisingly, he dominated with the right hand. Before the fight, I said that Barrios needed to take away the left hook. But Ryan Garcia actually brought the right hand to the equation. So in hindsight, Barrios needed not only to take away the left hook, he actually needed to take away the right hand and effectively counter it. And he was unable to do that. Ryan Garcia dominated with the backhand. And importantly, Ryan Garcia nullified the counter work. And remember, Barrios' identity as a counterpuncher nullified the body work. In the end, Ryan Garcia fought with intelligence and conviction. He was psychologically strong, but he also showed high ring IQ, which is an essential part of being a good fighter and a great fighter. Today, we got the Ryan Garcia. Today, we got the Ryan Garcia that we always hoped for. And it reminded me that when great genetics meet great preparation, it's a powerful combination. Ryan Garcia's dad, the trainer, he deserves a lot of credit. He deserves massive credit. He created the game plan and he brought the best Ryan Garcia to the table. Before the fight, I asked the question, could his dad create the optimal boxing environment in camp? Could he create the optimal environment? Well, Ryan Garcia's dad, the trainer, the head trainer, brought the optimal Ryan Garcia to the ring. And his contribution, the father's contribution, needs to be highly respected. Ryan Garcia's composure, his composure showed character. This ultimately, it was an intelligent performance. And at the end, the embrace with Ryan Garcia and his dad, it was a beautiful thing, truly great. Now, this got me thinking. Think of this. Sometimes in life, our challenges, they bring us down, but they can also define who we are. Ryan Garcia went through some very tough challenges, but perhaps this was the apprenticeship for a truly great victory. What does this mean? Well, it means that now that he's had this great victory and now he's a champion, the door will open. Matter of fact, many doors will open. But hopefully, he can truly appreciate and enjoy this moment. Now, I was so impressed. With Ryan Garcia on so many different levels. Now, think of this. What does not destroy you makes you stronger and also makes you smarter. And with that being said, congratulations to the new champion. So that's the end of the video. Now I'm trying to build a digital boxing community. What does that mean? It means I'm interested in your comments, I'm interested in your questions, and I'm interested in your observations. Now, if you want to support the channel, all you need to do is to like and subscribe. And if you want to watch more content, click here or click here. As always, thanks for your time. It is much appreciated. Peace.